Welcome back to a very basic space program. Last time, yeah, we launched another one of the Pathfinder Venus missions, and I could have done it quicker. I could have just not showed it and cut it out, but you got it. You got to watch it. If you did watch it, well done. If you didn't and you skipped it, well, that's your choice. Today, we are going to be going into Venus's atmosphere. We've got 2 craft to do it, and that's what this episode is going to be about. So if you want to see me potentially crash and burn, please join me. Alright, so before we jump along to have a look at things, I just wanted to check what we've actually got going on here. We've got, stop clicking on that button, Sea Monsters, that's, why are you clicking on it? So can we can afford to upgrade this thing, which would be quite nice. Can we do anything with this tracking station? Have we got the tech for that yet? We need more of that. Okay, we could upgrade this. This is gonna improve us, gives more queues. This would give us 7 contracts. I think we'll just do that just for the sake of it, because that's useful to have. Astronaut complex. We are going to need that because it allows you to put flags down. And I am not going to the moon or anywhere with a Kerbal if I can't plant a flag. But that's going to be 3 million. I think the money's better spent, however, on this because it gives us a research rate bump as well, and it gives us the higher stuff. So we're going to put some money into that. That gives us 3 million left. And I think then that takes that off the board. We'll keep a bit for that. What's our tech at the moment? We've got docking, crew transfer, space station prototypes. We could move that. Did we do large scale? No, we didn't. We didn't do the space station one, did we? We could. We've got the communications and stuff. I could really do with getting that up, couldn't I? So let me just check. What do we want to have? We want to get to... We want to get to high data rate communication. That's what we want when we get to this, because that's level 8 and level 7 comms. All right, so that's high data rate communication. So we're going to just move that first. Just get that done, then we'll get back to what we need to do. So high data rate communications, that one, it can't move up because of that, and that goes up first. So we move that up. Then we want that. I want high data space communications. Then we're going to move that. And then that, and then that. Okay, wonderful. I think that's good. We are putting the docking and crew transfer down a bit, but I think we're gonna hold off on that anyway because we want the bigger space station parts thing. So we'll have a look at that. So that's those 3. That's gonna be most of the way to the Neptune window. In fact, it's gonna be on the Neptune window, is it? Yeah, it's gonna be beyond the Neptune window, and then we can start looking at good communication stuff there. Right. I'm going to roll the clock forward. We're going to get to 140 days, and we're going to see what happens with the Pathfinder program. Right, we've got 15 hours until interface. It is the end of 1972, so we are quite far behind here. We haven't landed on the moon. We're 3 years after when the Americans did it. But we are going to put a probe down on Venus. I'm not sure when the first probe went down on Venus. Actually, I have to. You know, my memory is not as good as it used to be, obviously. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to jump to this, and we'll watch it coming in, and then we can figure out. So the other craft is about 4 days behind. So once we enter the sphere of influence of Venus, if it's going to take us more than 4 days to get to our periaps, then you have to start juggling craft there. So we're going to jump to that and see what's going on. So here we are. I'm going to keep this up on the left hand side. I know it obscures view a bit, but I'm going to keep the alarm clock up just because for timings. You can see we've got about 15 hours. We're going to warp forward a bit there. Then we jump into the sphere of influence. We've got our interaction there, which is in what day? It tells me the date. Oh, it's days. It's days. So we've got about a day. So okay, so we can actually do the capture burn, or at least the initial capture burn on this before its sister craft comes in. You can see that we actually have a signal back to Earth, which is nice. It's not the best signal in the world. We're also accelerating away from Earth, so we may lose signal. So getting into this capture orbit is quite important for us. We'll get in there as quickly as possible. I've calculated this to have signal back to Earth. I don't know if I'd actually planned on us having a better dish around Earth when that happened though. So we will see. We're going to pull this in, and again we've got this slow approach. 9 minutes. It stopped us 10 minutes out, which it shouldn't have done. And we're going to go through there, and there we are into the sphere of influence. Wonderful. And then we see that the next sphere of influence marker comes in. I want to I want to actually zoom into, and this is the bit that annoys me. Right, let's get a focus view on the Jupiter. What is it with Jupiter and Venus and me? I mean, come on. Right, I want to put in a maneuver there, and I just want to capture. Just get me captured, and then we can figure out what we want to do after that. How much is gonna? This is gonna cost me more than I thought it was. Okay. I've got quite a lot of delta V on this actually, haven't I? So let's pull this down quite a bit. Pull it down to about here. What's my periaps actually? What's the periaps? The periaps is not bad actually. It's quite high, so that's not a big problem. Yeah, we'll do that. This is going to be a polar orbit type thing. What's our inclination actually? Let's have a look. Inclination is 86 degrees. So yeah, this is pretty much polar. We'll put this in the polar orbit. It can do its communication and stuff from there. That's not a problem. Right, so that's going to be in 1 day, 2 hours. The burn is going to take 12 minutes. That's going to be fun, isn't it? So let's warp to here. Now, this is about the science, isn't it? How far out is the science that I want? Let's have a look. Let's see. What science can we gather? We've got multiple of everything, which is annoying actually. Once we detach things, we can do more. So there we go. That's gonna be 6. Okay, so the image spectroscopy, where is that? Do I have another one? That's probably on the body of this craft, is it? Is it on this one? Is the question we're asking ourselves. Yeah, it is. So this thing's going to be flopping around for a while doing stuff. What are we doing like for electric charge? We could warp this forward a bit, can't we? Right. What on earth? Start burning. Why was it going into seconds a minute? That's weird. Very odd. Right, we are eating electric charge, but it's not terrible. We've got a lot of electric charge actually on the craft, and we can, once we've got the science done, we will find that a lot of that will be done. And here we go. We've got waiting. They're all waiting because most of them have finished. These ones are pretty much just long-term ones they can do. Where are we at the moment? We are space high. Okay, now it'll be interesting to see when we change to space low. That would be the very interesting thing. We're at 22 hours. Let's speed this up a bit. These are not going to finish in this orbit, so you know what? I'm actually not going to risk it. We're going to stop it. We're going to stop all the science, right? So because we don't need to worry about it. Right. Let's have a look. It's 12-minute burn. If I do that, it's going to take me too close to it, isn't it? So let's actually do. Let's do a warp to here. There we go. Warpy dopey, all the way down. I'm trying to think like when are we gonna have to start burning is going to be the interesting thing. Right. Okay. Ooh, we are late to burn. We're late to burn. So we actually need to get on the node now. There we go. Delete that. Go. We're 4 minutes in. That's not good. That is not good. Get the engines going. I don't really want to be in a situation where we're potentially going to hit the planet. That's the concern I have. And there we are. We're actually really close there, aren't we? Have we got any science we can grab while we're here? I think we're all done, aren't we? Yeah, so it's just the longer term stuff that we don't really want to waste electricity on right this second. Right, get that round. And then we're going to fire the engines full bore as much as possible. See what we can get going. Right, there we go. Just fire it. There we go. Right, now have we got that odd twist that we had last time? Because that was interesting. You can see now that our actual periaps is going to drop because of where we're burning at. We're burning before our periaps and all that sort of stuff. Is this going to keep recalculating? Yes, it is. So it's going to recalculate when we're actually going to leave the sphere of influence. That's quite nice. Right, we can speed this up a bit. Quite a lot, in fact. And there we go. There we go. Speedy weedy up. And we're going to keep an eye on that periap. So I want it to be around 200. That'd be really nice. We can keep an eye on the delta V left on this craft. That would be good as well. What we could just do is put this into retrograde when we're on the mark, as it were. So when we're actually at the periaps, where's my time? Time to periaps. When we get on periaps, we can actually switch it to. In fact, we can put it in retrograde now. and then we can just lock it on that point when we get to periaps time is 0. And that should give us an okay burn, I think. So we're just going to lock that now. There we go. So it will now hold it. This is slewing though. There's a lot of RCS fire that we're actually having to use now to pull this thing out, which is interesting. I did not think that was going to be a problem. I don't know what it is that's off-center. Do we have off-center attachment or something? Is it something like the solar panels off-center or something like that? As this is getting lighter, this is getting more pronounced. I know we're on speedy mode, but this is not what I was hoping for, shall we say. Now, the good thing is we still have signal with Earth. We are quite a way past our required burn time, though. So we're going to see how this goes. It would be nice if we could capture at some point. It would be really nice. Perhaps this is climbing a little bit, but we're going to leave it as it is. That's not a big issue. So we know for the next time we need to start burning a lot earlier. We need to really burn early. Right. Okay, we're about halfway to somewhere. It's taking a long time. It's 12-minute burn. Of course, it's a 12-minute burn. You know what? Just put it into 4 speed. I don't really like putting it in 4 times speed, but that's what we're going to put it on. And you can see we're not actually... We're way off that. So that's the where prograde is now. Sorry, retrograde is now. You can see just how far off we've gone by going past the planet. And we're keeping an eye on this periaps, because what we potentially could end up with is the periaps coming down into the atmosphere, and that would be bad for us. We would definitely want to do a burn higher up then, and that would get in the way of future plans and things like that. Here we go. So we're coming around. Come on, capture. That's what we want. We are using an excess delta V just to do this by holding it off like this, but we will see what happens. Got about 5 minutes left on these engines if we wanted it. I don't want to use all of the delta V in these because we need it to actually, you know, do other stuff. But we will see. This is flickering a lot. There's a lot of flickering going on right now. Is there a future interaction that I'm picking up? Possibly. Possibly that's what we're... Whoa, that's interesting. Let's just do that. Bring that to there. Right, we're coming in now. And now what we want to be aware of is how much delta V we've got left here. And what our periaps is. That's actually climbing, so I'm going to kill this. We're going to kill this and leave it. Oh, we cannot delete because we've lost signal. Okay, we're now behind the planet. Okay, so we're going to turn our RCS off. We don't want to be wasting that anymore. Right, so what we actually want to do is we want to come around again and probably do that again in the future. So what are we blocked at now? We're blocked by the edge of the, just by the edge of the planet. So if we actually warp to there, I don't want to warp to there. I want to warp to, no, warp that way, please. And I should get signal back. There we go. Right, we have signal. So we're going to close that. And what I really want to do is, that's not a perfectly curved line, is it? We're going to add a maneuver there, and we're going to bring this down just a smidgen again. Like so, and I'm going to bring it down about there. That's fine. We could leave this here. In fact, you know what? We're going to leave this here. We're going to leave this here because it does everything I need, and we can play with it later. So what we want to do now is I want to get rid of that, and I want to put a marker. It's going to come this way. We want to put a marker about here. Add maneuver, and then I want to put that in there. Yeah, so that's in 4 days. So we're going to let this go around, and then in about 4 days we're going to do a maneuver here where we're going to basically pull ourselves into the atmosphere using what delta V is left there. This craft, the orbit will stay in orbit. We'll let it go, but the other one will actually go into a re-entry position. Is what we're going to do for that. So that's going to be on the marker, right? Let's jump for this one now. Jump to ship, and we're going to get this one captured. Now, of course, Pathfinder 1 landing doesn't actually complete our mission. So we have to land this one. So this one will go second because we want to actually test the idea with Pathfinder 1. Even though in reality they should both complete the mission. Because of when we took the mission, of course, they won't. We will only get the mission completed when Pathfinder 2 lands down. So that's going to be fun. So that potentially is a problem for me. We've got 2 days to go on this one. So what I'm actually going to do is we'll just do that. And the good thing is, because we've got the other one in orbit now, we could have actually put its its instrumentation on to do some science. I'm not in a hurry to do that. The orbiter is going to be flying around for quite a while. It can do all that sort of stuff in the future. Same with this one as well. Potentially, we're going to have this orbiter flying around for quite a while, so that it can do all of that stuff. It's the landers that I'm really focused on. I want to make sure their batteries are as full as possible. Right, we're going to speed this up a bit, get it into the sphere of influence, then we're going to see what we're doing. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Where are we coming in? This is the one that we had the fun with, isn't it? Where we had to redo it last episode. Right. So this is more of an equatorial one. We're going to have no signal, I don't think, when we're on the other side. So we're going to come in, and this is low, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to add that maneuver. We're going to capture, and we have less delta V in this one. That's the other thing. So we can't get that close. We don't have as much delta V to play with, so we're going to have to be a bit more sensible. We're gonna put it about there. Yeah, so this one's going to be like that. In fact, you know what? I don't need to do that much at all, do I? It'd be better off if we leave this high and take our time with it. So we just want to capture to start with. That's all I need is capture. So how much is capture going to cost me? Not much. Ooh, now that is interesting. When does that happen? That happens in 21, it is many years. That happens in many years' time. So we get an interaction. That's what was coming up with the other one. Okay. Right, so that's what we're going to go for. It's going to be an 8-minute burn, which is significantly less than the last one, just to capture. And we're going to be going for that. So everything is ready. I think we just go for this. We'll get it nearby. 20 hours to that point. We've then got the Pathfinder Venus 1 coming in just after it, I think. Yeah, so we're going to capture with this, and then Venus 1 is going to be doing its stuff, which is quite nice, actually. It means we don't have a long wait. We are a minute out, though, so that's annoying. Get that onto there, get the RCS on, get us, thank you very much. Again, we're a minute out, and that's because I click this button, and this thing auto does stuff, and it's annoying. Right, I'm going to get this thing around. I'm going to fire the engines straight away. We're just going to get them going. And there we go. Right. Burn time in minus. Oh, that's interesting. So it's burn time since okay. Now we need to keep an eye on this one again in the periaps area, because this one again is a slightly low orbit, probably lower than I should go. We're going very low. What are we picking up at the moment? Anything nice? We're currently space low. Okay, that's nice. Midlands. This probe's not going to get us really interesting stuff. The other one in the polar orbit might, if I can play around with it a bit, we might pull it into a really tight orbit in the future and see what happens. But we will see. We'll see. So let's have a look. This is on the dark side. We have signals still, which is interesting. And you can see us coming in. This is quite a cool looking craft, actually. I don't normally stack like this. I wouldn't normally have it designed like this, but you know, I'm okay with it, I think. It'll be interesting to see how this whole thing works and plays out for us, I think, in the long run. But we'll see what happens. There is a solar panel on the lander. There's also some batteries, which hopefully will last a reasonable amount of time. Obviously, we've got Pathfinder 1 is about an hour away from its sort of detachment point. I'm not sure how it's going to do with that. We may have to put it in sleep mode. I don't know if the batteries will last. I'm hoping they do. But we'll learn about that. We'll figure it out. I suppose we can try testing it, when we go and jump back to it. Again, this one is just about capture. All we want to do is capture this one. And then we'll do the test with number 1. So you can see, look at that. The only problem with using these like 1 kilonewton thrusters is just how long it takes to actually do a burn. Our periaps is not looking bad. We're not dropping below the 199. We're actually pretty stable, which is good. I thought we would potentially, because we're burning a little later, we'd potentially impact it. I don't think we're going to massively. And it does mean that, of course, this orbiter, we can move around this orbiter if need be. There's a lot of delta V on these orbiters. Enough to do quite a bit with their orbit. Bring them down into quite tight routes. I think that first one we will probably put in a very tight orbit to just do the science, because you get low space. Is it biome specific? Let's actually have a look. Low space. there we go. We get the visual imaging is biome specific, and I think that's it, is it? Yeah, and the infrared radiometer, which I don't know if it has. Yeah, it does. It does. We have that on the orbiter, so then that makes it worth our while to put it into a tight orbit, and then this one just we can play around with later, and just do that. There we go. Turn that off. RCF's off, please. Right, so we are now captured with number 2. Number 2 is captured. It's above the... Look, again, that sort of jotted line. It's not a curve. So we are above that. That's okay. That's, of course, we have enough delta V for there. Not enough delta V, enough power for this. It's using electric now, but if I actually pop it up, you can see it's charging. It's not got a problem. And then I think we're going to go back to you, and I think we're going to prepare for a landing. So we are now approaching Venus with the number 1 craft, and this is where it gets a bit hairy. So I need to think about what I'm going to do. So I think, how much delta V is it going to take to drop this into the atmosphere is the question. Not much from that point. It happens 2 hours later. So what's our charge on this? 3. Ooh, now where's the charge? That's the question. Is there much in here? Where's the? I suppose this actually has that as well, which is going to help it. We've got 99 in there. What's in this thing? We have a lot. Right, okay. So I think we can decouple. I think we decouple, and then we do the burn around there, and we pull it in with an aim of, yeah, doing that, I think. Or let's get to, that's only 70. We've got 1,000 meters per second I can actually burn off here. Let's go to here. Then we'll do the decoupling. Then we'll see what we can do. I'm hopeful. Because we're not carrying that pod on the top then, you see. Right, so I'm going to, let's see, put us into, yeah, do like that. Close that. Right, I'm going to put us into a normal. Get the RCS on. And I'm doing this just so that I'm not actually going to ram into myself more than anything else. Right, and then I want to decouple that, don't I? Yeah, that's the one we want to decouple, so we're going to decouple that. Right, that's done. We can also do that as well. And jump back to this craft. There we go. Right, so this one is now ready. You can see the heat shield has been unveiled. Right, and we've now got, how much delta V? 1,600. That's lovely. We have a signal, and I'm guessing we're bouncing it, are we? I can't see. Right, are we bouncing? Comnet path, tell me, signal through, yeah, bouncing signal through relay, okay. Okay, so now I want to go to here. Or do I? When are we going to hit that? In 59 minutes, right, we're going to go retrograde. And I think we're going to pull ourselves in. And then once we're on track for retrograde, actually, I need to check that we're actually doing the right thing here. Where's the planet? No, I want to be prograde. Because we're now controlling from the lander. So the lander is actually designed to face the other way around. So we're gonna put ourselves in prograde. We're going to do the burn. Note to self, yes. So this thing here is upside down. With the idea of when we're in retrograde, that is going to be going first. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to fire our engines, like so. That's going to pull us into the atmosphere, hopefully. And I'm going to pull it down to about, what, I don't know. I don't know what to go for, 100? 100 maybe? Yeah, there we go. So now we're at 100. We've got 2 days of electric charge on this thing. I'm going to wait until we get to about here. How much time is there? 3 minutes on there. That's 43. That's what okay, so we're going to come to here. Right. Then we're going to start playing around a bit. We're going to basically hold ourselves in this position. I want to kill as much delta as I can right now. Because I'm aware of the fact that this thing potentially is going too fast. We're coming in from interplanetary space. I mean, come on. There's a lot going on here. And then what we'll do is we'll offload that. We'll get this to do its orientation change. We'll orientation change it. Then we'll offload this. And then this thing can basically hold itself in retrograde. Hopefully through descent using its little RCS ports there, which will probably burn off. The whole thing will probably explode and the mission will fail, but you live and learn, don't you? So we're now actually going to go quite deep, but we are losing. We're getting rid of some of that energy that we've just got excess of. We've just got lots and lots of excess of basically Delta V on this craft that we're going to use to try and take the edge off. If this doesn't work, I'm not entirely sure what to do. Whether we do multiple pass entry, I'm not sure. We've got about 2 minutes left. We are coming in. When we get to about one thingy, I'm going to have to turn it, though. I'm going to have to turn it and burn it. Because, yeah, we're coming in fast. I don't want this craft to burn up doing this. That's the big concern. That is the big concern. So now, yeah, we're basically stuck now. We're going into the planet, aren't we? Yep. Right. I think now we are going to have to turn and burn it. How much more we're going to get out of it? Yeah, that's it. Right. Retrograde it all the way around. Thank you. And then do that. Good. And then a bit of that. And then arm those. Are you not? Why are you not firing? Oh, I need to turn on your avionics. That's why. Ah. Is it a science core? Yes, it probably is. No, it should be controllable. So why am my RCS not working? Why are you not working? Why are you not working? Come on. Tell me why you're not working. Oh, we've got a lot of heat coming in. Oh, we've got things exploding. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. We're coming in backwards. Oh, this is not pretty. Oh, dear. I don't even know what's going on. We've lost... What on earth is going on here? What on earth is going on? That's weird. We lost fuel tanks. The thing is spinning. That's interesting. I have no idea what's going on there. So we had a problem with this, which was... These should be working. I'm not entirely sure why they're not. We have the right fuel, I'm guessing. I hope we have the right fuel. I hope we got the right things set up here. I wish you could tell. But we are through the atmosphere and we've slowed down. Ish. Oh no, we're going back up now. Are we going back up? We're slowing down. Okay. That's different. Yeah, that is very different, in fact. I guess we're going to do a second pass, which will probably kill us because this thing is not orientating properly. So yeah, note to self. What did we lose? We lost the solar panel. So we've got 3 days of stuff if we need it. We've got a signal still jumping. Okay. But this thing, it just did not work. We've got a bit of chart ablator. Right. How long until our next loop? 50 minutes. Okay, so warp to there. Can I warp faster? Oh, I can't because I'm in the atmosphere still. Okay, we're in the atmosphere? That's interesting. And everything is freezing up now. There we go. Right, so what happened there? This should have died. It should have died. It should have died a death. Let's get it out of the atmosphere and then we'll do a speedy up bit. And I'm not entirely sure. So it's spin around. I don't think its orientation controls worked. And I'm not sure why. Now they're working. Oh, maybe I didn't have the button pressed. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Right, let's get round to here. Warp to there. Right, let's see if we can actually come down properly this time, even though we don't have a solar panel. Right. Get that on, and I want to be in retrograde. There we go. How much are we... Oh, hello. Right, is it going to be able to turn itself in time? Let's have a look. Well, yeah, we've got plenty of time. Now, what are we doing for fuel? We've got loads of that aerosine stuff. Have we lost... We are off center now, though, because we've lost 2 of the tanks, and we've also lost our solar panel. Now, the interesting thing will be, was the solar panel burnt off because of where it was facing, or would it have always been burnt off? That could be interesting. Now I can't use the speedy up buttons either, which is quite interesting. So whatever glitch happened there was significant. Now we want to slow down before we get into the atmosphere, I think. And I need to actually arm that parachute, but we'll do that in I'll do that now. Let's do that now. Arm the parachute, and then let's just fire it down. There we go. Oh, this is lovely, isn't it? All right, we don't need that up at the moment. That does not need to be there. We're coming along, and let's have a look. I think everything's good. We want to slow speed down. We want to get ourselves orientated properly. Right. So the first one was obviously testing if you were stupid and could not have done these things properly and didn't turn on your orientation control, or you didn't realize you hadn't turned it on, or I don't know. I have to look back at the video on that one. So let's just speedy this up a bit and see what happens. So we're gonna interface with the atmosphere any minute. In fact, we can just go a bit faster there. Have we got enough fuel to hold us is going to be the interesting one, right? So we're now in the atmosphere, I believe. And we're also going over the pole, I think. Are we actually going over the pole right now? Is that what's going on? Yeah, we're getting a bit of a swing because that's where the pole is it? I suppose the planet's on a tilt. Right. So this should hold it. Let us see. Let's speed this up a bit. Is it able to hold itself? Oh, it's definitely over the pole region now, isn't it? And we're getting that horrible sort of spin effect that you get when you go near the poles. The concern here is that because we don't have the actual solar panel, I don't know what we're going to get. So what I might do is I might turn on this stuff and see what we can grab. Can we get a pressure scan? Yeah, there we go. See if we can grab any of that. So that's not being what's that? Fly high. You've got to be obviously mass specs. Obviously, got to be not in the atmosphere. Oh no, actually, it's now picking it up again. That's interesting. So the mass spec does work, but only at certain times. Now that's nice. We seem to have slowed down really nicely this time. So obviously going in, heat shield first, probably a good idea. We're doing 5,000. We came in at 9,000 meters per second. That was just crazy, wasn't it? We are a little bit off center because of these, but the solar panel is my concern for the actual next flight. This thing is not a massive issue. What's our power going to be like? We've got a day. We've got a day of power, and we're going to be pretty much transmitting data as we go. What's the timing on these? We've got 4 minutes. That's not going to run. That's done. That's going to be an hour. That's going to be 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got a whole range of stuff there. We've got science for days. I think now is the time to speed this up a bit and see what happens. I'm going to turn off the RCS, let it just fall. Hopefully it'll fall reasonably okay. It's doing 200 meters per second. But of course, it's a very light craft for its size. We've got a bit of science being transmitted, and we can get a lot of science from the atmosphere with these things. Hopefully, we could actually get most of the science from upper atmosphere and things like that. And we are 35 minutes in. So what I may do, I'm aware of how long it takes to go through Venus's atmosphere. It is not a pleasant experience. So what I might do is actually meet you on the surface, or when we have parachute deployment or something like that. But let's just run it. I wish I had a time warp thing that would go a bit faster. So we've basically almost finished the pressure scanning at Fly High. We've got this one, which is Fly High Midlands, and this one is Fly High Midlands as well. That's like an hour though. So actually, I suppose you could do that in Venus because it is that long that you spend up there. Alternatively, we could build a plane and send it. That would be quite cool. I wonder if you could fly a plane in this thickness of atmosphere. What would you fuel it with? It would have to be a rocket plane or a glider, would it? That is an idea though. I quite like that idea. I don't know if I've thought about doing that before. A glider in Venus's atmosphere. We're getting quite a bit of science points. We've got 40 science has been transmitted. We do have science backing up, actually, which is the problem. Once we get through some of the other stuff, though, we should be okay. I think, yeah, so we've finished now the temperature and things like that. So we're now getting through, not really getting through stuff. We've actually got a bit of a backlog. Oh, there we are. Look, we've got a decent signal strength to these places. We're getting 15, bouncing through relay 15%. If I, wait, show me full prop control. No, it's not going to show me again. Okay. What's that? Direct connection to Space Center. Oh, I'm bouncing it through relay. Okay, I was very confused then. So you can see we're about 50 kilometers up in the atmosphere, and we're falling very slowly. So I don't think we need to worry. Potentially with something like this, you could actually just avoid putting a parachute on it. The parachute's just there to orientate and make sure it lands the right way around. It's not a big, impressive probe, but it's a probe nonetheless. Got a contract complete. Oh, we've done the orbit thing. Oh, good, that's good. That's 500,000 done. And then we've got these things done. Wonderful. Right. I am going to, oh, we're now low. Right. So we're now in the low atmosphere. I'm going to accelerate time a bit, and I shall see you when we get to the surface. Right, so we're about 31 kilometers up, and yeah, I said I was going to come back when we get into the surface, but we have just lost signal with our craft in orbit. So all the data that we have on board right now will be getting stored. It'll all be basically stored up. It also means I can't see what data we've got unless I come in here and grab this. I've also shut down the avionics, which should give us an extra about a day's worth of charge. The other good thing is that we're not going to be using charge up too much while the antenna's not running, so we're actually saving a lot of electricity just doing that. The problem we may have is we may do more science than we can actually transmit. That would be my concern. We're currently waiting on most of our experiments. Most of them are done. We do have visual imaging going on, and that is eating the electric up a bit, but it's not terrible. We're not doing badly considering the speed at which we're running at. We've got a lot of ablator left actually, so we could have actually really lightened the craft down. I think it's more a case of just having the ablator there, or the heat shield there to protect you and act as a heat sink. Not sure if I would lighten it down, because then you get the whole mass heat transfer. Anyway, we're in the clouds, which are obviously sulfuric acid or whatever I think they are, and we're going down. So where are we? Where are we looking? I can't see anything. We're all over the place. I will join you when we get through this cloud layer, I think. Right, we've just come through the bottom of that cloud layer, and you can see below us the surface of the planet. It is still quite a way to go. I think it's still about 15-20 kilometers, so it's a long way to go. Once you get into this atmosphere, it's very thick, and yeah, we are tumbling. I'm not going to fight that. I'd have to turn the avionics on, and I don't feel the need right now. We're not getting into an uncontrollable spin or anything like that, so back to you hopefully when we're about to land, or when we have a parachute deployment, whichever one happens first. Right, we are 500 meters up, and we do have a parachute deployment, but there was also an error on it. Something happened with it where I think there was something went wrong with one of the chutes. I'm not sure which one. You can see it's a tiny little chute. Tiny little chute, in fact. And we have two of our little fuel tanks that are actually overheating, and we are about 300 meters off the surface. Now, we are high up. We're about 5 kilometers above what would be sea level, I suppose, on Venus, or it's minimum height, or I don't know, I think it's minimum height. So we're just going to let this thing go down a bit more. I'm just intrigued to see what this parachute does, and whether we have actually got opening of the parachute. Now, is it going to actually do anything for us? Do I turn this on? Let's turn that on. Do that. Put it into retrograde and put the RCS on. Is the RCS going to help it a little bit? Will the RCS hold this a bit? I don't know if it will. Maybe it'll help us land a bit. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now we are using a bit of electricity up for this, but no, it's not gonna let us do it, is it? It's not enjoying it. And we're coming down, and well, we're down. Okay, we can turn the RCS off. We can turn that off. We can turn the avionics off again, and we are down. So we're upside down. What have we learned from that? We've learned that the solar panel on the other craft is probably going to be a bit useless. We do have the, let's have a look at what science we've got going on. Can we access this from here? Yeah, we can. So we are running all the sciences. The big issue we have is that this craft is going to be quite a way away. This one has to come around its full loop as well, and I think that's a couple of days. Now, we are positioned right on the bottom of there, aren't we? So what's going to be able to see us? I think This craft can't see us at the moment. It's going to have to come round to about here before we can actually be seen. This one over here, though, I don't know if we've got the range on it. We could start getting a signal. I think we could start getting a signal, possibly when it's out here, if we have the range. So it's going to be interesting. What we will do is, I've shut everything down. I think we've got everything going. We've got the science experiments running. And what I'll do is I'll run those for a bit. When they get finished, we'll stop them, and we'll just see if we get enough time. So I'm going to end the episode here. I'll remove time forward a bit and see if we can get this. We're likely to have a similar problem with the other craft, although that's likely to land on the equator, so at least it should be able to get science back. I'd like to get a signal to this craft, though, to get some of that science back, but we will see. So from me, I'm going to run this forward, and then next time we will land the other craft and see what we're going to spend all the science on. So have a great... Right, I have jumped back, and I probably shouldn't have, but I've jumped back because I wanted to show you this just so it comes in. We have a signal. We've got very little in the way of well, we've got probably about 30-40% electric charge left, and we've got this coming in, and we are transmitting like crazy right now. So if we actually have a look, let's get the thing up. Yeah, 300 units of data. We're basically offloading data as quickly as we can. Currently the equipment is running. We've got a few bits running. We'll get rid of that. So we've got the one running there for the mass spec. That's just going to keep going. It's days and days. That's not going to finish. But what we do have is we have data being transmitted right now. We have a signal. So we're basically going to be hopefully getting as much of this out as possible. I wonder whether we can prioritize. Let's get rid of that one. Let's prioritize that. Get that done. Because what is that? That's flying high in the lowlands. Let's get the lowlands, all that data out the way a bit. I'm not sure what the best data for value for money is actually to transmit. It'd be interesting to actually know. We're gonna speedy this up just a little bit. The problem we have is that I'm not sure. Yeah, we should. This is coming this way, and we're gonna get a stronger signal. I'm assuming we can use that as a buffer, so that could probably buffer the data. There we go. So that's done. Good. Get that all done. Get it all done. We can see we're actually, we're working our way through it now. So what's that? That's flying low and that's flying high. Let's kill that one and that one. I want to get the flying high out first. The mass spec is just going to sit in the background. In fact, we could just turn that off for now and let's let it build up. It's just going to take buffer time up, and we're not going to finish it. You can see the craft going across there. What's our battery like? I think we're only going to get one shot at this. We're only going to get the one shot at this. So this is, this is problematic if we don't get everything we can. We can speed this up just a little bit more. Go on. Right, so we're about halfway now. We're going to get hopefully as much as we can. Right. So now we're going to start coming the other side, and this is where we get a tricky position, because I'm just worried that I think we're going to keep a signal to Earth. That's not going to be the problem. So let's get all of this, just get it all down, get everything we can down. The next question is, can we bounce it off that? Because that would be an interesting one, but I don't think, we've lost signal. Damn it. So we don't have the chance of getting it. No. Well, that's as much as we're going to get. I think we had about 300 on it, something like that. I think it's probably going to be dead before we get round again. In fact, I know it's going to be dead before we get round again. We probably could have saved things by, stopping that. So we'll stop that, see what that does. But I don't think we're going to have a chance to get science from it again, unless we get very lucky with the approach of this craft from this angle, but I don't see it. It's annoying that we're actually considered as landing in the Midlands when we're actually pretty polar. I mean, we're pretty much almost on the pole there, probably just off. So I think we were unlucky there because we've got the disadvantage of being polar with the signals and things like that, and we've only got Midland science. So yeah, that's a problem. But until next time when we try and land this other one, from me, have a great one.